All right, boys, top 10 theme teams post zero chill. I'm going to go with here. And this is before the playoff cards come out, season 5 comes out. So I have yet to see what this is with the playoff cards in season 5. But we're still going to do this video right now anyway because I personally don't want to do it later. At number 10, I'm going to go with the Washington Commanders because overall, I think this team, just with how much stuff they got during the Zero Chill promo and the Ghost 'em Up promo, that they should be a top 10 theme team in the game. You're getting Adrian Peterson, you're getting JCM, Jahan Dotson, Deion Sanders, and I do imagine Terry McLaurin probably gets another card eventually. Will he, though? Not 100% sure. I imagine he gets one eventually, though. You have Zach Ertz as a tight end. Looking at the defense, though, you have Sean Taylor, linebacker, Frankie Louvu, probably one of the main star shows, Darnell Savage with 94 speed. You boost that plus the crystals, that's 97. You have Vernon Davis, so you don't have to use Sean Taylor up there. You got Deion Sanders at the corner. You have Champ Bailey, Dante Fowler, Montez Sweat. Overall, I think that this team it's not the best, but you're getting good cards for what you're boosting, which is kind of what you want out of a theme team. At number 9, I got the Minnesota Vikings. You could argue that this one is higher, but it's mainly just because I feel like majority of them are all zero chill cards, and January 8th, that's not going to really be the best because of the abilities. It's going to be more now the playoff cards, but I still think that the stats for these cards will be able to hold up. So obviously you have probably the best offensive line in the game for the theme teams. I don't think anything even comes close. And then if you don't even want to use one of these guys like Ryan Kelly for the limited or Steve Hutchinson, Jake Long, you have Ezra Cleveland right here as a 93. Just crazy. TJ Hawkinson just got a new card. You have you still have Jettas, and Jettas isn't even that good. So you could really just put like a 32 team chem guy there. You have Randall Cunningham, Sam Darnold, AP, Randy Moss, which is right now the best receiver in the game still. And then looking at defense here, you have Randy Moss at the corner. And this is why I kind of have them at 9, is because their defense, in my opinion, potentially could be a little bit lackluster. You don't really have the best defensive line, kind of, because, I mean, Van Ginkel isn't, in my opinion, Van Ginkel is not really all that. Jared Allen is still pretty solid, though. John Randall isn't really all that. Zeus isn't really all that anymore now that the chemistry's going away. Antoine Winfield is not really anything. But Randy Moss and Pat Pete, a lot of people love Pat Pete cards. In my opinion, he plays like shit. Every Madden, he plays like shit for me. I don't understand why, but every Madden, this guy plays like shit for me. So I personally never like Pat Pete cards, but a lot of people love Pat Pete, and Pat Pete always plays good for people. Xavier Words is still good. You have a good user linebacker out of Blake Cashman. It's just really the other linebackers, some defensive line, and then the safety that's really the issue. But this entire team is mainly an offensive theme team here, which is why it was so valuable at the 25. Coming in at number 8, we have the Las Vegas Raiders. Once again, you're not really getting the good offensive line here, but you're getting some valuable pieces in Randy Moss, James Lofton, Devontae Adams is all the way over here. In my opinion, I would probably do it like this just because Taylor Mays is like, what, 5 million? Oh, he's 1.8. But still, Taylor Mays is not really all that, and they gave him 93 speed. Devontae Adams is the exact same thing, and he's he's a million coins cheaper. So I would rather have it be Devontae. James Lofton is arguable because there's 32 team chem guys. Moss. You have Josh Jacobs, who kind of is a bit outdated now because he's 92 speed. Quarterback situation, just use 32 team chem guys here. You could honestly probably 92 speed as well. Never mind. Tight end wise, you got Darren Waller, who's really good. The offensive line needs work, but it's not unusable really. But this is where this team I think makes a big push, and it's on the defensive side. We all know defense is hard getting stops, so having probably the best players out there is the best thing that you could do. You have Randy Moss still right here at corner. Jack Jones, who's really good. Max Crosby, who's good. You have a great overall defensive line. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 7 93 plus guys at defensive line. And then on top of that, you have Ronnie Lott up here at safety, Taylor Mays, and if you don't like either of those two, well, that's cool because you got Jeremy Chin, who's 6'3", Ted Hendricks, who's 6'7" at free safety, who you could play in the box if you really wanted to as your user. You still have the Ted Hendricks linebacker. You have Derek Johnson, Divine. Like, this team is stacked on the defensive side of the ball. All the corners are solid as well. You can still use Rod Woodson and Charles Woodson and Lester Hayes. They're all usable cards still. At number 7, I got Philadelphia Eagles. Now, yet again, it's another one of the zero chill cards kind of carry it because, like I said, I haven't. This is before the playoff promo and this is before season 5. But some leaks that did come out is Drake May and Javon Curse are 2 season champions that you're going to be able to upgrade with the season tickets. So that's a QB and it's an edge rusher that you're getting, which for some of the theme teams like I just showed with the Raiders, Drake May at the quarterback is great because he gets all 32 team chems, so he's going to be a good fit for that team. And then Javon Curse for the Eagles, and for every other theme team now, that's another great defensive end and defensive lineman overall. But fully locking in on the Eagles theme team, you have Michael Vick, who probably will go down if he hasn't. He's probably going to go down because of he loses all the X factors and everything like that. But 95 speed still, that is the fastest running back, I think, by a mile. I don't think, no, 94. But looking at the running back, you have Michael Vick. You have Michael Vick as well, and right here and for the other part of the backfield. And then, I mean, if you really care about fullback, you have William Perry, but that doesn't really matter that much. Wide receiver room is really good. You got Carmichael 6'8". Yes, he is a little bit slow, but he makes up for it in the height department. You have T.O. You have, you're not really using him. You have Jahad Dotson. James Lofton is good. You have a solid offensive line with Mailata, Kelsey, and John Madden still. You also have Lane Johnson, too, right there. Zach Ertz, you have a 2 good tight end room right there. And then defensively, while there is a little bit lackluster in the corners department and everything, these guys made the playoffs. They're going to be getting playoff cards. So I imagine that they're going to be giving probably Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. They're going to give somebody here a playoff card for the defensive side of the ball, whether or not it's the safety position, like the corners, defensive line, linebackers. Maybe even they come back over and they give Landon Dickerson a playoff card. At number 6, we have another team that has made the playoffs, and it is the Green Bay Packers. And this team is, once again, really good. Not really good in the quarterback department, but I imagine Jordan Love gets a playoff card. Drake May's coming out for season 5, so you have those options. You have Tavon Austin at the running back, Matthew Gold. You have a full star-stud wide receiver room, apart really from Deontay Wicks, but you're not going to be using him. If anything, I would say just do something like that. You get Matthew Golden, Sterling Sharp, James Lofton, and Devontae Adams, all 93 speed plus. And then if you have the chemistry, the crystals, and the 50 out of 50 thing, they're getting +3. Offensive line looks good. You have you got the 3 good Zach Tom, Jenkins, and John Runyon. You have Jimmy Graham and Jermichael Finley at the tight end, which, I mean, Jermichael Finley you could say is a little bit outdated just because of the 90 speed, but 90 speed is still not all that bad with 82 run block. That's a usable tight end too right there. And Jimmy Graham is also really good on top of that. And then you come here to their defense, and their defense has some absolute studs. You have Herb Adderley still, Rasul Douglas, who isn't bad, Reggie White, which, because you can't use Julius Peppers right now because he's not out. So you have Reggie White, Zeus again. You have Colby White. The defensive tackle spot could use somebody new. I imagine Micah gets a new card probably for the playoffs promo, but you're going to use Micah because of the crystal cards. They kind of fucked over every Micah card for that. Ted Hendricks on both sides with the linebacker and the safety. Ray Nitschke, if you wanted to even play Ted Hendricks up top. You have Darnell Savage, who's 94 speed yet again. Julius Peppers, who's 6'7" as well. You could have 2 6'7" guys up at the top. Or if you really wanted to, you could just have 2 6'7" guys in the box with Julius Peppers up top and Darnell Savage right here at the other spot. Now, coming into the top 5, I would say that the Denver Broncos are going to be a top 5 theme team, not only because they made the playoffs, but because they got a bye week. So they're going to actually get 2 batches of playoff cards, depending on if they were to just lose in the second round, which honestly, I don't think the Denver Broncos do. I think the Denver Broncos make it at least to the AFC Championship. And with their team, Troy Franklin right here is the only standout, or is the main standout that's bad. but I imagine Troy Franklin definitely gets a playoff card, or Pat Bryant. Their receivers have been playing really good. Cortland Sutton, this card's not really all that, but I imagine Troy Franklin or Pat Bryant gets a good card. Flacco's here. You have Judy. You have Peyton Hillis. I imagine Bo Nix as well gets a playoff card. He probably gets an LTD if anything. If you don't like Peyton Hillis, you have Javonte Williams. Evan Ingram, who's always a really good tight end when he drops, is here for this team. For this team. I don't know why I keep saying team. Offensive line wise, though, you have three pretty solid ones in Bowles, Miners, and Wilkinson. So, I mean, it's a really good offensive team in my opinion, especially because of the fact that you're going to get better receivers for the playoff promo. You're probably going to get a McLaughlin card. A Bo Nix is for sure to be coming out. Despite the Broncos having a really good defense, their team defense is not all that. But once again, they get 2 batches of playoff promo cards. So I personally have no clue whether or not they're going to just do one for every team or one offense, one defense for every team, which I kind of think that's how it's going to go. Plus, there's also Campus Hero. The Campus Hero thing is also going to be a part of the playoff promo, which the Broncos definitely have some guys, or have had some guys, that were really good in college but weren't all that in the NFL. So I imagine they're going to get a couple of the Campus Hero cards, along with playoff cards, of course. Jaquan McMillan and Champ Bailey kind of run your show here because, I mean, Pac-Man is really kind of slow, and same with this guy. But you have Vernon Davis. You have DeMarcus Ware coming off the edge. Atwater's really not all that, but I imagine Brandon Jones gets a card. Nick Benito is here. Overall, it's just going to be the playoff cards that kind of push this into the top 5. Once again, I'm making this before the playoff promo. So I'm kind of just basing off of what teams are going to be getting playoff cards and how good that's going to be for them. At number 4, again, carried by the Zero Chill promo and the Ghost of Mutt promo, is the Dallas Cowboys. But even with the Zero Chill boost going away, I still think most of this Cowboys team is going to be really good. Just simply because your 3 wide receivers right here are all amazing. Once again, a 6'8" guy. You have T.O., Primetime, Zach Martin, Cunningham. If you don't even like Cunningham, I imagine they're going to do a Dak card eventually. So, running back room is looking good, though. You have Zeke and Tavon Austin. So, if you don't like Tavon Austin because he gets hit too much, you can go Zeke, which is the same speed as this guy. And then defensively as well, I mean, yet again, carried by the Zero Show promo. You have T.O. right here. Trayvon Diggs, Carmichael, DeMarcus Ware, too tall to just blitz if you really wanted to, as like or to have as a big guy in the middle if you really want. Dante Fowler, Xavier Woods. You have the prime time on defense as well, which if you use Shador, who has all 32 team chems, prime time becomes 98 speed. So prime time is a really good look for this team and everything. And now coming into the top 3, this could be biasy, you may say. I say go fuck yourself, because in my opinion, the Seahawks are probably a top 3 theme team. They're not the best theme team yet, but they are a top 3. They got the bye week, so we're getting 2 batches of playoff cards and definitely some Campus Hero cards. But looking at the theme team, we have AP, K9, 2 great options at running back right there. Sam Darnold is the quarterback. You're not using that. I have the theme team already. You're not using Sam Darnold. I'm using Shador personally because I want my Deion Sanders with 98 speed. So I'm using Shador, but you could use Sam Darnold if you wanted to. DK Metcalf, they made really good. You have 3 great options at tight end, 4 technically because of Dontari Poe. You have 4 great tight end options. Jimmy Graham is, in my opinion, probably the best one because he's the tallest and he's the fastest. Offensive line, not really all that hot, to be honest. I imagine Lucas gets a card. He sucks. Matter of fact, fuck him. Oluwatimi is not bad. Hutchinson is good. Charles Cross, I imagine, gets another good card, especially after that big contract that we gave him. I imagine JSN gets another card. But, again, 2 batches of playoff cards because of the bye week. So, this team can only get better on offense and especially get better on defense, which we need after having the best defense in the NFL. We need to get a free safety here. We need to get a strong safety here. But you could just put all 32 team chem guys here. You have DK Metcalf corner. You have Tariq Woolen when he comes out. He's going to get all 32 team chems, but Woolen is still on this team when he comes out. You have a whole bunch of just good, solid players that you could be using. And then especially when the playoff promo drops Thursday, when Season 5 drops tomorrow, You get all those 32 team chem guys. So I definitely see the Seahawks being a top 3, maybe even the best theme team in the game by the time that the playoff promo comes out. At number 2, I have the Jaguars. Yes, you're looking at this right. I have the Jaguars as the second best theme team in the game. Why? I mean, playoff promo. Travis Hunter, he always gets a good card. So I imagine he's going to get a playoff card eventually. It's only a matter of time whether or not he gets one or not. But Travis Hunter's a big name. They always like putting him at one side and the other side. So he might get a good playoff card. I'm kind of banking off that. And I'm kind of just also banking off of the fact that Brian Thomas Jr. gets a playoff card, which, being that they made the playoffs and their roster is really good, I'm really surprised Brian Thomas Jr., this is the best card he has as an 88 overall. But when he comes out, it's a 6'3 receiver, definitely going to be probably 94, 95 speed when he comes out. You have Evan Ingram at the tight end. You also have Brenton Strange. T. Law is a good quarterback. You have a good Tavon Austin, and I imagine ETN gets one. A slept-on guy as well, Parker Washington. I do imagine he gets a Team of the Week card revealed for, when was it that he played the Broncos? I don't remember, but I imagine that Parker Washington gets a good Team of the Week card. Their offensive line isn't really all that, but I mean, it's somewhat manageable when you mix in the 32 team chem guys. So really, at the end of the day, what does it matter? And then this is mainly why I put them here. Look at this defense. It is carried by Zero Chill, yes, but it's still great because of their stats. You get Darnell Savage. You have Trayvon. You have a great defensive line. And Trayvon Walker, Henderson, who you really just use for chemistry. Calais Campbell, though, is still really good. That's a 90 speed defensive tackle right there. You have Eric Murray. Travis Hunter, who you can still play corner and receiver if you just do the depth chart thing. Darius Williams is, I think, pretty solid. Yeah, 93 speed right there. Dante Fowler. Overall, I imagine this team only gets better as well with the playoff promo coming out. So, oh yeah. And then as much as it pains me to say this, the 49ers have the best theme team in the game. Like, I can't say, it hurts me to say it, but how can I not? Their theme team, they just have so many good legends on their theme team. Like so, right here. Randy Moss, Deion Sanders. You're not really using this guy because he's too fucking much. Ray McLeod is, not really the best. But if you mix in the 32 team chem guys with Randy Moss right here and Deion Sanders wide receiver, you're looking pretty good. Quarterback position, I imagine Brock Purdy gets a playoff card. I know I've been saying it this entire video so far. Playoff card. It really, though, is important that people understand how good these playoff cards are going to be. Because of their abilities and everything, they're going to be the best cards in the entire game. So in my personal opinion, I would say probably just prep for it as much as you can. Buy the players that you need to make the champion sets. Of course, you can't do it yet, but you could buy the casual 92s because I think it's going to be 92, 93 cards to make the champions. Looking at the offensive line, though, you have double Kittle at tight end and offensive line. The offensive lineman one's better. Don't ever buy this card, please, for the love of God. Just use Dontari Poe. Offensive line, though, apart from that, it looks pretty good. Trent Williams is looking good. Larry Allen and then the right guard are kind of really the only odd ones out. But you get all 32 team chem guys in there, you're looking good. And then on defense, you have a lot that's good here. You have Deion Sanders again. You have a great defensive line, which I imagine can only go up from where they're at. You have Vernon Davis, safety. Taylor Mays is here. Randy Moss, corner as well. I imagine Fred Warner gets a playoff card even though he's hurt. Oh, I don't see this team as well losing in the first round against the Eagles. I kind of see them beating the Eagles. They're probably going to get a second batch of playoff cards as well. But alright, boys, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what theme teams you guys are rocking in the comments below. Let me know if I even missed a theme team that you guys think is better than I didn't see that's better.